On August 19, 1839, mankind was given an amazing gift. This invention and most extraordinary triumph of modern science were to have a fundamental impact on everyone's life from that day on. News of its discovery spread like wildfire across the globe. The dream of science to use light to replicate the world around us had come true. It was now possible to precisely and authentically record both the appearance and the environment of man. The daguerreotype process was not the birth of photography, but the first practicable method of obtaining permanent images with a camera. The release of the miracle formula of photography by the Royal Society permitted the further development of one of the greatest technological breakthroughs of all time. The Frenchman Louis Daguerre had succeeded. His name would be synonymous with the invention of photography for many decades to come.
This is visual independence.
The daguerreotype technology was a groundbreaking accomplishment. The method, named after its inventor Louis Daguerre, became the first mass-produced and commercially successful photographic process, but more on this later in the video. Although the principle of the camera was known in antiquity, the actual chemistry needed to register an image was not available until the 19th century. Numerous pioneers of photography and creative craftsmen and scientists had tried their hand at creating permanent images through the action of light. Each of them contributed with their discoveries to the success of permanently fixing an image. Silver nitrate and silver salts, iodine, bromide and chlorine were the essential ingredients and light-sensitive chemicals discovered by individual researchers and scientists. It was not until the invention of a light-sensitive surface by Frenchman Joseph Nicephore Niepce that the basic principle of photography was born. The first photo was taken by Joseph Nicephore Niepce in 1826. Louis Daguerre, entrepreneur of the Paris art scene, co-invented the diorama, a popular custom-built entertainment venue. It allowed up to 350 people to view hand-painted landscapes and architectural views presented through a large translucent screen with lighting effects and immersive perspectives. Looking for a way to incorporate mechanically produced images into his diorama system, he experimented with preserving images in his camera obscura. Through a business partner, Daguerre was introduced to Nicephore Niepce, who initially reacted to him hesitantly and with a certain amount of suspicion. Nicephore Niepce, however, needed funding for his heliograph project and saw potential in Daguerre's reputation and popularity. Daguerre had the necessary resources, access to prominent figures, and acceptance in the Parisian and European art scene. The complementary expertise of the two men would lead to an official partnership in 1829. Collectively, they sought to find a way to capture, reproduce, and preserve light efficiently and faithfully. They worked separately, but in conjunction with one another, sending coded letters back and forth discussing their research. By 1832, the pair had invented a new photographic medium, the daguerreotype. After the unexpected death of Nicephore Niepce in 1833, his son Isidore succeeded him in the enterprise. Using techniques pioneered by Niepce, Daguerre continually refined the photographic method, relying primarily on technical improvements in three areas: speed, resolution, and permanence. After years of experimentation, he discovered that iodine silver photographic plates treated with mercury vapor rendered the positive in much shorter exposure times. In 1837, Daguerre developed a method of fixing the photograph with common salt to make the exposure permanent and prevent further deterioration of the original when viewing in light. After numerous attempts, he had figured out a technique to produce images in a relatively short time and to successfully fix them.
Welcome back to Visual Independence. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and push the notification bell for further photographic experiences.
Daguerre underwent further optimization when he followed a suggestion by astronomer and chemist Sir John Herschel to use sodium hyposulfate instead of salt, which improved the durability and overall process of permanently fixing the exposures produced by the cameras. This method created strikingly detailed images on a sheet of copper plated with a thin coat of silver. The daguerreotype, a direct positive process, was not reproducible. Each photo that was taken was unique. The name of the Niepce Daguerre Company was modified at Daguerre's direction to Company under the trademark Daguerre and Isidore Niepce to commercialize the discovery developed by Daguerre and the late Nicephore Niepce. The first modern photographic technique became Daguerre's with the name Niepce pushed into the background. After little luck working out a means of selling his invention by subscription, Daguerre approached François-Dominique Arago, the perpetual secretary of the French Academy of Sciences. On January 7, 1839, Arago lectured on Daguerre's process at a meeting of the Academy. On Arago's initiative, the French government granted Louis Daguerre and Isidore Niepce an annual pension in return for sharing the invention with the world. 9 months later, on August 19, 1839, the Academy formally revealed daguerreotype processes to the public. The complete, reproducible and ready-to-use daguerreotype system was promulgated and made available to the world, with the exception of England and Wales. Since no agreement could be reached with the British government on payment for Daguerre, the invention remained registered and protected as a trademark. Daguerre wrote a manual describing the process, titled Historical and Descriptive Account of the Various Processes of the Daguerreotype and the Diorama. The book became a bestseller.
The daguerreotype is not merely an instrument which serves to draw nature. On the contrary, it is a chemical and physical process which gives her the power to reproduce herself.
29 editions and translations appeared before the end of 1839. It is due to his exceptional skill and personality that photography was approved as being valuable by the Société de Science and eventually granted as a gift to the whole world by the French government. Louis Daguerre, who was neither a chemist nor a scientist, but an artist and showman, possessed the perseverance and the right flair. He had managed to excite the world not only with curiosity but also with enthusiasm for photography. The craze was incredible. Numerous portrait studios opened their doors from 1840 onward. Everybody wanted to be daguerreotype. The advent of the daguerreotype inspired entrepreneurs to profit from the buzz by selling equipment and supplies as well as instructing how to conduct photographic processes. Although portraiture was the most popular subject, the daguerreotype was also used to capture numerous other motifs, such as topographical and documentary scenes, antiquities, still lives, natural phenomena, and outstanding historical events. Louis Daguerre by now was famous all over the world. He became a French Legion of Honor awardee, and in the same year, was made honorary academician at the National Academy of Design. After the daguerreotype process had become universally established, optical and chemical improvements were made that eliminated a number of deficiencies. The daguerreotype process was further refined by rinsing the plate with a gold chloride solution to soften the black and white tones for a warmer amber tone. The British chemist J.F. Goddard published the benefits of adding bromine to the iodine used during the sensitization process, boosting the speed of the plates. In 1840, the Hungarian mathematician Joseph Petzval created a lens with an f3.6 aperture that was much faster than Chevalier's lens that Daguerre had used. Combined, both advances reduced exposure time to about a minute. Despite Daguerre's powers of persuasion, the French Academy of Fine Arts did not accept photography into its salons. The notion that photography provides access to an unmediated view of the world sparked intense debate over the artistic merits of the new visual form. As Daguerreotype Mania swept the globe, the art world struggled to reach a consensus on how to receive Daguerre's invention. French poet and critic Charles Baudelaire remarked on the medium.
As the photographic industry became the refuge of all failed painters with too little talent, or too lazy to complete their studies, this universal craze not only assumed the air of blind and imbecile infatuation, but took on the aspect of revenge. Can it legitimately be supposed that a people whose eyes get used to accepting the results of material science as products of the beautiful will not, within a given time, have singularly diminished their capacity for judging?
It's estimated that 30 million daguerreotypes were created in the United States alone. Daguerre spent his retirement in the small village of Bry-sur-Marne, painting diorama tableaus for local churches. On July 10, 1851, he died of heart failure. He was 63 years old. The popularity of the daguerreotype declined in the late 1850s when faster and less expensive photographic processes became available. Photographers subsequently switched to more novel photographic techniques, while a few enthusiasts held on to the daguerreotype. The unique aesthetic of this 19th century photographic tradition has survived to this day, and daguerreotypes are still in practice among professional photographers. Daguerreotypes have meanwhile achieved a veritable cult status. Enthusiasts dedicated to the subject meticulously preserve them. Today, rare and well-preserved daguerreotypes command top prices on the fine art photography market.